Hey guys, welcome back to Totally Random Talk Show. It's been a little while, and a few things have changed, so we can make better podcasts. Hopefully, we've decided to go back to just good old topics and not do any other segments, and we'll do those on the other uh, channel podcast. And so, if you want to, later we'll record some bonus episodes, different segments. And we also have a new website. We'll have a link in the description for the podcast. And final piece of news is that we have a YouTube channel set up now. So all of the podcasts are up on the YouTube channel. You can go and listen to them if you want to. And it'll just show our little flamingo logo. So yeah, pretty fun. Let's hop right into it. You want to start?
Yeah, sure. All right, guys. Our first topic for you today is on compasses. Now, you guys all are familiar with the letter topics, so today is all C letters. So our first topic is compass.
How about you start? Talk for a little while.
Well, compasses. They're actually really cool if you think about them, because while yes, our Earth does have a north and a south pole, those are literally poles. Like, not literal poles, but they're actually like magnetic forces pulling around the Earth, and that's what makes a compass work. See, is when you move around, it'll always show you what direction you're facing. Some of them aren't always completely exact, but most of the time it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and nowadays you have a compass on cell phone that uses satellites to track almost to the exact point where you're facing. You know, like if you're facing 2 degrees north, then it's like super exact. What I think is interesting is that we found a way to take natural science of the Earth and use that to tell which way we're facing so that we can find our way around, you know?
Exactly.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are also ways to find your way around without a compass. You can use the stars and also the sun and the moon based on where they're at to be able to figure out kind of where you are. But not a lot of people know that, so compasses are more reliable. That's the word.
What I find interesting is people actually sometimes make their own compasses. It's actually less exact than a normal compass, obviously. But I guess what they do is, and don't quote me on this because I might not be right, but I think if you have a toothpick, you can get like a little small bowl or cup full of a little bit of water, and then put a toothpick in it, wrapped on the tip a piece of tin foil or gum wrapper or something, and it will actually point towards where the different what's it called, like, west,
Direction.
south, east, and north.
Yeah, so pretty sure you can do that like with a leaf somehow too. I don't know, there's different ways to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's kinda
interesting.
cool to see it. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like compasses that you use that are more accurate. They're usually made out of, let's say, metal or plastic on the outside, and then they have little, like, it kind of looks like a clock, to be honest. But I think it's interesting how you can make them with like simple things, like a toothpick and a little bit of tin foil. It's crazy.
So our next topic for you guys today is on corn. Probably one of the best vegetables on the planet, if you ask me.
I don't like it when it gets stuck in your teeth, though. That's the only bad part. And that's like with popcorn, too.
that's why I take the toothpick and get the tinfoil off of the weird compass thing I just made, and then just get the corn out of my mouth and stuff. So it works pretty well.
Yeah, so corn is delicious.
Now, I can tell you guys some pretty interesting things about corn. Since I love it so much, I know a lot, and I also learned about it in school. We were learning about ancient civilizations and the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas. And I'm pretty sure it's the Aztecs or the Incas that invented it. But corn was actually created mostly by man, which is quite interesting because back then they didn't have corn. No one knew what corn was except for either the Aztecs or the Mayans. Maybe it was both. So both of these civilizations, there was this weed that looked like a small miniature piece of corn, and they took this weed, and over time they just kept growing it and putting it together. And as you guys know, corn, when it's in groups, so like all the stalks are surrounded by each other, it helps the corn grow faster. So I'm assuming what they did is they put it together, and obviously this took a while, like maybe 100, 150 years or something like that, but maybe even thousands of years. I may not be absolutely correct, but I'm assuming that like most of these weeds were genetically being modified over time because they were so closely bunched up together, and it like the little tips that looked like corn slowly grew bigger until it was corn that you could actually eat, and that's how they figured it out. And then they discovered corn, and they're like, oh, we can eat this, and then popcorn followed and other things. So actually, I read something somewhere. It's a very reliable source, actually. Nat Geo, National Geographic, but there was a fact that they came out with that said 3,000-year-old popcorn was found in a cave. So obviously, what I told you guys earlier about corn being like evolved over 100 years is not true. It takes thousands of years to do that. I now realize what I said before was stupid, but I think that previous civilizations, even before the Aztecs and the Incas,
Incans were like the 1400s.
Yeah, so they were pretty late actually.
They also survived the latest because they lived up in the mountains, so also they could grow lots of crops. They were a very farming heavy culture. And what I think is interesting about how you mentioned over time they genetically modified these things. Nowadays we can do that really fast, and so even just from one crop to the next, farmers choose their best crops, and basically they're modifying the crop every time to just get better and better crops. And it makes me wonder, is there a point where you'll find corn at the store that will be so good it can't get better? Where will it stop? There has to be a certain point where all these foods that are genetically modified have to stop. But so far, it seems like this keeps changing little by little and getting better and better. But as they get better, other animals and things like that adapt. The environment adapts because nature tries to, run its course.
Exactly.
And can't run its course if it can't eat the corn because, it's interesting.
So our next topic for you guys is on computers.
Ooh, wow. There's a lot to talk about here. But I think what we should start with is that computers were probably, I've said this a ton of times, but they're the most influential invention that we've ever made. And here's why. First of all, computers have changed a lot, and they've done a lot of stuff too. They took us to space, and nowadays we have cell phones and like gaming computers and stuff like that, crazy things. And they power our everyday lives. They make up everything we do. And so, like with the internet and through computers, we now have lots of information at our hands, and also lots of tools that we can use. Like, for example, some off the top of my head are like, you have Photoshop, and you also have tools you can use to create, games like code, and also just to change everything we do. It's like a whole business now.
Exactly. It's pretty insane if you think about it, because the first computer ever made, I think it was the size of 1 or 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools or something. And it was huge. So massive, and it couldn't do squat. It downloaded like, what is it, kilobytes? Like, 5 kilobytes a minute. That's nothing. And nowadays, every minute we could download terabytes of data, depending on what you have. I mean, the most advanced computers are the ones that can download terabytes of data that fast. Obviously, but what we have is it can probably do a couple gigs in a minute at the most for just normal computers and things.
And so, you're right. And even like with not very powerful computers, they still do a lot. It's crazy because some computers that are old and like they've stopped supporting Windows 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Windows 7 was still very powerful, especially because you could do so much with such an old design. Like, for example, they've been using Windows 10. Oh, I'm using Windows because that's what I have, so I know more about it. But they've been using Windows 10 for like 5 years now, right? And it's still not outdated because they can update software, and also it's powerful enough that like computers now can understand a lot. And I think it's interesting because they take all that information from humans, because we've made them into what they are. Somehow we've made it so that they can actually be smarter than humans in a way, just by using different techniques.
Exactly. So, like, take Apple. Now today we have iPhones and iPads and crazy things like that. But the first ever Apple products were actually computers, and I'm pretty sure it was the Macintosh that grew the company rapidly. It was this giant box of a computer that had a keyboard built into it. The screen was like, it looked like a mini version of one of those box TVs you'll see, and it didn't have very much color at all. It was just a black screen and then green, like, typing.
Yeah.
So it couldn't really do very much of anything.
Yeah, but they were crazy too, like, because for the time they were made, when you look back at other stuff happening around that time, it's crazy to think about how there are a couple people who were literally sitting in their garage and made something that changed the world as we know it. Like, even in just cars and stuff like that, you see there's like GPS computers and stuff like that. And also earlier you mentioned one of the first computers was gigantic, and actually the first bug found in a computer was an actual bug. They found a moth that was inside of the computer, and it was actually messing with the stuff, making it malfunction.
That's
I thought that was interesting. I like to read some random facts, and that was one that came up. It was pretty interesting. So yeah.
Speaking of moths in a computer, our next random topic for you guys is Caprisuns. The most amazing drink you will ever have in your entire life. That might not be true.
Which has nothing to do with moths.
Nope. That's why I said speaking of moths in a computer, because it's so random and out of place. Like a Capri Sun in a computer. Out of place. But then again, we're the totally random talk show.
Yeah.
So Capri Suns.
Yeah.
They are literally my childhood. And sum up about everything that happened in my childhood as well. Capri Suns, like, you know how they have different flavors. Like, they have the Roaring Waters Capri Suns. I'm pretty sure that's like multiple different flavors. And then they have the normal Capri Suns.
Roaring Water.
They have organic Capri Suns. My personal favorite flavor, guys, is it's the black cherry. I love that one.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
There was one I had though that was like lemonade, and it just didn't taste like lemonade. I don't know, but they've also changed it a little bit. Now they used to be like tons and tons of sugar, and it still is sugar, but they've added more just plain fruit juice, which is actually a little bit better. It's like they haven't done it too much to the point where it's like you're eating apples out of a little bag. But it's pretty good. I like them.
I think one problem.
I had one today.
I think one problem we always face though, when coming face to face with a Capri Sun, is getting the straw into the top, like the little slot. A lot of people have a hard time with that. Me personally, I don't really ever have a problem with it. I seem to get it in really easy, but for a lot of people that's really hard. So what they most times do is they'll turn it upside down and poke it through the bottom because it's almost as weak as that part. It's just easier to get through, which I actually think is pretty genius, if you ask me.
Yeah. I've poked the straw through the back of it before, and if you move the straw at all the Capri Sun just starts to spill out. But
why would you do the side?
I don't know what. But it's like sometimes you'll put it into the little plastic hole they have, and it's not separated from the back, so it just goes straight through the back. But what you should do is kind of squish it down so you have more flat area, and you just poke it so it's not touching any of the sides.
Yeah. So Capri Suns, they were a pretty cool invention. You know, a lot of people hadn't really thought about putting juice in a pouch before that, but
yeah,
it's basically literally just juice inside of a tinfoil Ziploc bag.
Yeah, it is.
With a straw.
Except for, I've noticed it does have the whole bottom is plastic, right? Like, exactly like the hole you poke. And so you can see the bottom. It's weird. Yeah. I don't know why.
Maybe it's just because people, wanted to see what they're drinking or something. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe they put it there knowing that people have a hard time pushing it through the top, and they enjoy pushing it through the bottom instead. But
that's like opening a bag of chips from the bottom.
Yeah. It just messes with your OCD.
Well, our next topic is coins. Now, coins are interesting.
We have been experiencing a coin shortage. We should probably mention that. So if you guys have coins, please give them back to the world.
Some places use coins, while others don't. I'm pretty sure Canada only uses physical, paper money, I guess. They don't actually have paper money. It's actually made of plastic. And so
that's why when you go to the store, you hear paper or plastic.
Oh, no. That's okay. That was a great joke. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So yeah, I don't know. It's lots of coins have designs on them. They're really cool to look at. But of course, right now there are not a lot of coins.
Yeah.
And so, some people think coins are like magnetic, but they're not. They make them out of metal that's not magnetic on purpose.
Yeah. But if you have coins, guys, just return them to the stores. You know, COVID's here and all, but you know, you can still like go to the coin thing at Walmarts and stuff, and you can like put the coins in. If you have like a giant bucket of change, you can like dump all the change in there, and it'll give you dollars back and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Bro, imagine walking into Walmart with a wheelbarrow of
that would be awesome.
just pour it into the machine. Hey, give me my dollar bills, please.
Dude, they'd get like $2,000 from that. $2,000 out of change and coins.
It'd be even crazier if it was just quarters, you know,
Ooh.
25 cents. Because
50-cent coins.
Yeah, 4 quarters.
Dollar coins.
$1. Oh,
Bunch of dollar coins.
$10,000.
Do they have
That'd
that?
be insane.
When I was younger, I thought that a sand dollar was actually a dollar, like, coin that you could find on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And they, like, hid a bunch of sand dollars everywhere. So I thought, like, I would just, like, look around, you know, and then see some weird-looking gold doubloon. I'd pick it up and be like, oh, it's a dollar coin. I found one, Mom. I found a sand dollar. And then I saw what a sand dollar actually looked like, and I thought, oh, maybe it's inside. So I found a perfectly round sand dollar, and I broke it to see what was inside. There was nothing, and I was so disappointed. And then I found out that sand dollars are super hard to find intact, and I got really sad.
Oh no!
It was sad. I didn't know.
Well,
I didn't know that things lived in them, though. That's cool. Like when I was younger, like little organisms and stuff. There's like a little tiny,
okay.
I don't know, like a tiny octopus thing. Like, not an octopus with the tentacles, but it has like the weird mouth, you know. It like eats stuff that comes into it because there's like that little hole in the bottom, and it like eats stuff through it. It's so weird. Yeah, it's like a starfish.
Oh yeah. Whenever I think of coins, I think of like the coin rolls, and you like put pennies in the rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember one time, my aunt had a ton of coins, like literal just jars of coins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were putting them into those things, and it was actually pretty satisfying because in the end we just had a giant stack of these rolls of coins.
That is
great.
Awesome. So our final topic before a random word for you guys today is on calculators.
From the dictionary.
Yep, dictionary random word, obviously. But
well, right here I have a calculator with me, and best words to describe a calculator is 2x plus 1. No, just kidding. I don't know.
2 plus 2 equals 4. I did math.
Let's see. What's 10,245 plus 400,056.2356? It's 50,301.2356. There you go.
Wow.
Calculators are useful.
So.
And also a lot like computers. For some reason.
Yeah. A lot of calculators are very similar to computers. They just, most calculators aren't capable of doing as much as a computer, or if anything, as a computer. But there are calculators out there that are like really expensive. Like Max has. He has a really expensive, unnecessarily, insanely expensive calculator.
Hey, the teacher recommended it. He said a couple of years, come around to calculus, yes, and you use the calculator for calculus.
I bought a $16 calculator at Walmart, and it does pretty much just as much as yours does.
But he said you needed this one for calculus because of the way it works, like the functions it has.
He was probably just being mean.
The graphing. It has it's very user-friendly. The graphing on a TI-84 calculator is very nice.
So, one thing you guys should stay away from, though, is, like, 50-cent calculators. I mean, I'm not hating on them, and they still do basic calculator functions, but those are, like, elementary school type calculators that you don't really necessarily need when you get to be as old as we are, and you get to do, fun things. Let's just say that. Lots of fun things.
You get to find the volume of an ice cream cone. How much ice cream is in an ice cream?
I learned that in like 6th grade or something.
Well, no, like the volume of the cone. And it was like a trick question, right? It was talking about how it has the scoop on top, but then that wasn't actually relevant. We didn't eat that. It was like, and a single scoop costs this.
No, what sucks is when they make you find the volume of, like, say, a guitar case, or like something really weirdly shaped, like a bagpipe.
No.
They're like, find the volume, the exact number volume of a bagpipe. I'm like, what the heck? I don't want to do this.
How do you even find the volume of a bagpipe?
Well, you have to, like, do that 3D volume graphing stuff that's, like, super mathematicianic. And, that's a word. Don't worry, guys, that's a word. I didn't make it up. But, yeah, they're like, find the volume of a bagpipe, everyone. Okay, I'm giving you 10 minutes. I never finished. Luckily, I wasn't getting graded on it because he knew it was impossible. But someone did it! And I was like, how? How do you do this? I mean, I'm good at math, but, like, I'm not good at math. So, I can do it. It's just I can't...
That kind of reminds me of those things where people, like, graph, like, pictures.
Yeah. So, just remember... The most important lesson we learned today, guys, is when your teacher tells you that you're gonna see the volume of a bagpipe and you're gonna have to figure it out yourself, you have to run out the door and never come back. Lesson learned.
If anybody says, find the volume of this, just leave. Unless it's a rectangle. Because that's fine.
Yeah, you're gonna have such a hard time doing anything else.
Not a rectangle. You can't find the volume of a rectangle because it's flat. But anyway, let's go on to our next thing. So I'm gonna go over here to my Alexa. Give me a random number from 100 to 600.
Here's a number between 100 and 600. 242.
Okay, so the number was 242. So I'm going to go to my dictionary here. The Children's Scholastic Dictionary, new and updated from 1994.
Wow, that's so new.
Oh no.
It's not like we've made so many words.
Seriously, in the last, 30 years, there's been at least 10,000 words. I bet there are. Anyways, let's see. Headache. Oh no. Okay. Everyone
Number 1,
knows.
headaches are the same as migraines. Number 2, everyone hates them. Number 3, if you get a bad enough headache, you will guaranteed die. Just kidding, don't listen to anything I say.
Drink your water, kids. stay hydrated, or else you will get a headache.
Yeah,
And
it's
you'll
not fun.
be in pain. Your brain does not like it when you don't get enough water, and it's like, feed me. And so then you're in constant pain and agony. You sit there for science class. I don't know.
You're getting a
Whichever-
headache in
wherever you
science,
are.
not because of the teacher, because they actually are being really
That's
annoying
great.
and confusing. No, science is awesome,
Okay,
but
that's
some of the
good
teachers
teachers, yeah.
are terrible. I have a good teacher. I'm taking biology,
I do too.
so it's awesome.
I'm taking chemistry. I took biology
Oh,
last year.
dang.
Biology was good, but I missed out on getting to just cut open a frog and look at its insides. So. Oof.
That's a different class.
Anyways,
So yeah, headaches, no one likes them.
no one does.
No one does. But they hurt.
Yeah.
And you should try to avoid them. One thing that I would consider a headache is brain freeze. I hate that so much.
Those are the everyone's always like, oh, I got a brain freeze, but I'm always like, the pain, the agony, because brain freezes are the worst. And then like you hold your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and you have to sit there for like a minute until it actually goes away. See,
that's
it's
why.
so bad.
That's why when I go to Arctic Circle, I listen to what they say because, like, on all their drinks, it says, "In the event of a brain freeze," and then it shows like a picture, right? It's like,
Yeah.
take a sip of your drink, take a bite of your burger, then repeat until it goes away. And I'm like, thank you, Arctic Circle. You made my life so much easier. You're like one of my favorite burger restaurants in like the whole planet. Just because of that. You saved me.
Where is Arctic Circle? Is it only in our state?
I think so.
Sure.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
for all you listeners out there that are out of state, out of country, wherever you are, Arctic Circle
Ireland boys.
is a fast food restaurant. It's pretty good. Their fries are literally like heaven in your mouth.
And their shakes are heaven too.
Yeah.
So,
Now, let's not forget the other great places like In-N-Out and stuff, but
I used to I always go past In-N-Out and it's like packed full, and I always wonder why.
well,
'Cause
it's
it just
so
seems
good.
weird.
It's
But it's like we're
amazing.
at maximum capacity. Nobody else can enter the building. It's like, what? Like a restaurant? Really? And there's like 17 other restaurants in that area.
Yeah.
And they're all super busy, but it's like In-N-Out packed full.
Seriously.
So yeah.
We went way off topic, but you know what? That's okay, because after all, we are the Totally Random Talk Show. And as always, guys...
Hopefully we didn't give you a headache.
Yeah, hopefully we didn't give you a headache, and I also hope that you guys will stay tuned for our latest video. Just remember, if you want to make a compass at home, just remember what I taught you. Just kidding, don't, because I don't know what I'm saying.
Just watch a video.
Yeah, watch a video, because they know more than I do. Obviously, computers know the best. And
Yes.
use those smart brains of yours to figure out how to properly use a Caprisun.
And in math class, when they tell you to not use a calculator, use it anyways. Life tip.
Life tips, guys. Don't listen to us.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, no.
Stay tuned for our next video, and stay random.
Stay random.